Hello friends and welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, several products have launched recently from brands that I love, but I'm just a little skeptical about whether these products will actually work on my mature skin for several different reasons, which I'll share with you in today's video. So today I'll give you the full rundown on these products and test them so we can determine if they might or might not work for us. Thanks so much for stopping by today if you're new, and for those of you who are returning, thank you for your wonderful support. As a makeup artist who specializes in helping those of us with mature skin, I love sharing makeup tips, techniques, and products that can best help us celebrate the strong, beautiful, and wise women that we are. We occasionally also make forays into the realms of health, wellness, and fashion. And as a matter of fact, at the end of this video, I have some important health tips from a world-renowned doctor and researcher, so be sure to stay tuned for that a little bit later. So if the focus of this channel matches your interests, please do subscribe before you leave today. So now let's dive into these products to see if they would meet the needs of our mature skin. The first product that I'm skeptical about is from Makeup by Mario, which you may be surprised by because I've loved many of the makeup products he's developed over the years. I've shared Mario's story of how he became a makeup artist and launched his brand in a previous video, and I have a great deal of respect for his knowledge of color theory and the innovative, really top quality products that he's developed over the past few years. He was J.Lo's makeup artist since 2008 and was almost single-handedly responsible for the huge resurgence of contouring, which helped catapult Kim Kardashian into the spotlight. He's also known to be soft-spoken, polite, discreet, loyal, and fiercely talented, and can often be found crisscrossing the globe as he gives makeup masterclasses. Well, one of my favorite products that he's developed is a Master Eye Prep and Set Eye Primer, which, as you can see, is well loved. What's brilliant about this innovative product is that it has 2 shades in each small palette, so you could truly customize your color. It's also wonderfully handy that he's included powder in the small palette, so it's easy to prep the eyelids with powder before applying powder eyeshadow. And those of us with mature skin often begin to notice discoloration on our eyelids, since that skin gets thinner, and we can also often notice veins showing through as well. This is certainly true for me. Mario's eye primer has by far the best coverage of any eye primer I've found, which is definitely important for many of us. And I've also found that the best way to use it is to apply it with our fingers, because the warmth of our fingers makes it a little bit creamier and even easier to apply. I've also used his original Master Mattes eyeshadow palette today, and he's recently come out with another all matte palette which is called Master Mattes Neutrals. This is his original palette which I used today. Other products of his that I've loved include his Soft Pop Blush Stick, his more recent Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil Cream Blushes. These are absolutely stunning and they just are so sheer and glide on easily. The only issue is they don't last quite as long since they're so sheer, so I always love to layer this with a powder blush. His new line of beautiful satin lipsticks. And by the way, I also have a full video showing all of the different colors in this line, and I'll put a link to that in the description box below. Here's his beautiful powder bronzer, and he also has a stick contour bronzer, and a powder blush and a powder highlighter. And I can't resist sharing with you his 2 other eyeshadow palettes which haven't gotten quite as much attention. This is his Master Metallics, and this is his Master Metals. But it's his newest launch of his Softscrupt Bronzing and Shaping Serum that leaves me a bit skeptical because of the formula and the colors. It's described as being lightweight and sheer, which has me concerned that it's not going to provide enough color. And although it comes in 7 shades, there's no mention of the undertones of these colors. They are simply described as being for fair, light, light medium, medium, medium dark, dark, and dark deep skin, and providing sun-kissed warmth. Since there's no indication that any of these might have a cooler undertone, I am a bit skeptical about whether the color will work for my cool undertone skin. I'm going to go ahead and swatch the 3 colors that I have, and then I'll decide which color I'm going to go with today. First is the shade Fair. This is the shade Fair, which is difficult to see because it almost blends in with the color of my skin. Here is the shade Light, and underneath it is the shade Light Medium. I think fair is definitely going to be too light for me, so I'm going to go with light on one side of my face and light medium on the other side. Now, I do have to say that the packaging is very innovative because there's a pump applicator, which is great for those of us who are makeup artists because it keeps the product sanitary for use on clients. Or it's also great for those of you who prefer to put it on the back of your hand and apply the product with a brush. But today, because I'm just going to be using this product on myself, I'm going to use the doe foot applicator to dot on a couple of drops, and then I'll blend it in with this F4 face brush, which is a very soft angled brush. So this is light, and I'm just going to, oh wow, I mean, you barely have to touch it and it melts into your skin. Wow, this is mistake proof. Or if you've been afraid to use contour because it looks like it's too difficult to apply or to blend in, or it just might look too dark and too unnatural, boy, this would be the product to use. Now, can you even tell I'm wearing it? I guess you can see it a little bit. And I'm going to put a little bit here for my jowl area and add just a little bit more. This is a wonderful brush to use. It's actually his foundation brush, but it certainly works well. I mean, look at that. It just, I barely have to touch it and it blends in. That's amazing. And you do get a nice soft sculpted look, very natural. All right, let's try the deeper color on the other side. Apply just a little bit more here. I don't think you're going to be able to tell really that much difference between these two colors, but maybe we'll take a look. So here's the light color on this side, and here's the light medium on this side. Looking straight ahead into the mirror, I don't know if I can see that much difference between the two, but probably when I edit, I'll be able to notice. Well, it certainly goes on easily and blends in beautifully, but I'm not sure about the colors, and I'd love your feedback on that. But it's definitely a lovely natural bronzed or contour look. Now let's move on to the second product that I'm skeptical about, which is a powder blush from another brand I love, Kosas. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing two of my favorite Kosas products today, their foundation and their concealer. But since their foundation has a natural finish, I've mixed it with Saie Beauty's Glowy Super Gel in the shade Star Glow. This is a really fun combination to create a really nice summer glowy look. The newest launch from Kosas that's leaving me skeptical is their Blush is Life Baked Talc-Free Dimensional and Brightening Blush. Can they make these product names any longer? Well, this blush comes in 8 shades, and it's described as a clean, silky smooth, talc-free powder blush baked with squalene and hyaluronic acid in dimensional color duos for a healthy flush of color. Now, I know this blush would work beautifully for those of you with oily and combination skin, but I'm not so sure it will work for those of us with dry, mature skin. So first, let me go ahead and swatch the colors. The colors that will work best for me, since I have a cool undertone, are Hype, which is a warm poppy pink. This is Hype, and I put about 3 different swatches on there because it was quite light with just one swatch, so it does build beautifully. Butterflies, which is a cool baby pink, and here's Butterflies. It looks so pretty. And Butterflies is definitely a much lighter, cooler pink color. The next one is Adrenaline, which is a hot fuchsia. You can definitely see deeper shades in this one. Here is Adrenaline. And Euphoria is a cool pinky mauve. And this is Euphoria, definitely not as bright. I'm really liking this one. Dreamland is a rosy bronze, which might look good on those of you with a deeper, cool undertone skin. This is Dreamland. Now this to me actually looks a little bit peachier. For those of you with a warm or neutral skin undertone, you'd probably want to check out Blissed, which is a warm pinky peach. This is Blissed. And Blissed looks like it has more pink in it to me than peach. Swoon is a pinky brown mauve. This is Swoon. And Thrill is a vibrant blood orange. That could be really gorgeous for those of you with a warm undertone. These blushes remind me of the Hourglass swirled blushes, like the one I have in the Hourglass Ambient Light palette. I'm going to go ahead and apply the Kosas blush alone on one side of my face, and on the other side I'm going to apply the Kosas blush over a cream blush, as I always do when I apply my Hourglass blush over my cream blush at the end of my makeup routine. So first I'll apply the Kosas blush alone on one side of my face. I swirled it around a couple of times, and this is the shade Euphoria. And I'll take it a little bit deeper as well, just so you can see it a little bit better. This is sort of the mauve-y pink tone. And I'm also curious about this butterfly shade, so I'm going to apply a little bit of that just below it for the fun of it. Now this is a much softer brush, so it's not showing up real well. I'll go back to my denser brush. Yeah, now you can see it a little bit better, I think. So this shade is a little bit lighter and cooler. Now I'm going to apply my Rare Beauty cream blush in the shade Nearly Neutral, and then I'll apply the Kosas blush over it, and we'll see how that looks. This is a beautiful, natural looking blush shade. Neutral, as the name says. I really love it. It's from Rare Beauty. And I'm just going to apply a little bit more so you can see it better. Now I'm taking the shade Euphoria and I'm going to apply it over that blush. I love layering blush because it just helps them last a lot longer. And a little bit more. So that is Euphoria over Nearly Neutral, which is a cream blush. And this is Euphoria just by itself. What I was concerned about was whether the side where I applied the Kosas blush alone would end up looking streaky or patchy, because that can sometimes happen with powder blush on really dry skin. But I don't think that happened. So after testing both of these products, the Makeup by Mario Liquid Bronzer and the Kosas Powder Blush, here are my final thoughts. The Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpting Bronzing and Shaping Serum is extremely lightweight and applies so easily because of how sheer it is. And because it's so sheer, it's pretty darn foolproof to apply. So if you prefer a more natural looking bronzed or contoured look, it is a great option. It's also a great choice if you want a bronzer or contour that's really easy to apply and blend and is absolutely foolproof. You also get quite a bit of product, 1.01 fluid ounces. That will last a very long time. The Kosas blush colors are absolutely beautiful, and there's a wonderful selection of colors. On my dry skin, this powder formula worked really well. I was pleasantly surprised. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on these two products in the comments section below. And in case you're interested in checking out either of these two products further, you'll find a link to them in the description box below. Well, as I mentioned earlier, before we close today, I want to share some important health information from a world-renowned medical researcher and Harvard-trained doctor by the name of Dr. William Li, who's, by the way, one of my heroes. He's the author of over 100 scientific publications and has served on the faculties of Harvard, Tufts University, and Dartmouth Medical School, and he founded the Angiogenesis Foundation. I had the honor of interviewing him late last year on a podcast, and I've included a link to this interview as well as a link to Dr. Lee's YouTube channel and his website in the description box below. But today I want to share with you his list of the 5 snacks that help kill cancer and burn fat. And during the video on this topic on his YouTube channel, he goes into why these are cancer-fighting foods and offers some great ways to get them into your diet. But I'm going to just quickly list them for you. The first one will probably surprise you. It's pumpkin. Well, I personally love to include pumpkin seeds in salads, and I add a large dollop of pumpkin puree to my oatmeal in the morning. And the seeds are even better if you grind them up first. The second food is soy. Number 3 is tomatoes. 4 is apples, so I guess there's some truth in that old saying that an apple a day keeps a doctor away. And 5 is green tea. Well, I hope you found today's video helpful, and if so, please be sure to tap that thumbs up icon to let the YouTube algorithm know. I also hope you can join me again next Thursday, and in the meantime, I wish you good health and happiness, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Take care.